First we're going to show you how to dismantle and check some of the parts on a TTS 800 series sprinkler. Before we do anything, we want to go and isolate the water so that there's no pressure behind the sprinkler before we start taking it apart. Find your isolation valve and then make that fully shut on there. Come back to it. Go to another sprinkler that's on the line so that you don't get the one wet around the area, and manually turn it on to release the pressure. So as we come back to the sprinkler that we're going to work on, we need to depressurize, just have a little push down on there, and then we'll take out the inner this way, clip out the room, and then remove the internal. Like so. We can then go after the fast access cover and we do a turn there and pop it off. Nice. This now gives us access to all the components, and here we can take out the cables and have them put to one side. We can also move the module on there, which is connected to the solenoid valve. As you can see, there's a few components in here which we can move. The red one and the blue one are just guards which hold things in place. So if we go near anything for the red one, then we'll have to make sure, like we have done, is depressurize everything in there. We can start by taking the blue guard off, which is going to release our solenoid valve and the pilot valve. Good thing is with a TTS is that the selector that we can see there is not attached to anything that's mainly expensive, so the piece of plastic, which sometimes can get rounded off, can actually be removed from it and replaced easily. And there, so there we have. Pressure regulator can also come off, which you can see we have there. And we can make adjustments whether it's in situ or when it's out by making an adjustment on there which shows the PSI, and then you can just easily convert PSI to bar if you need to. But 80 PSI is about 5.5 bar. So as you can see, the actual components is not too many that we need to worry about once we have it taken apart. The last thing we're going to go for is how to take out the bottom valve. If there's water in the bottom of the sprinkler, then you can always use the hunter sucker to remove it. Once you can see the white clips down the bottom, get the on the middle, lean in and just push down slightly, and then pinch the two white triangles together like so, and you can take that out. This may release some more water. So again, we can take a plunger and remove that. So, and then we can grab the middle of the valve and this lifts this out. If we want to remove the rock screen, then we can push down and twist and remove. That'll allow us then to get into this fine mesh filter if we need to replace that. Can we service that by taking off those two small screws there, and then we can also replace. Pop it back on there, straight back in. Okay. In order to then put back together, clear out the water in the bottom of the sprinkler. When we're replacing the bottom valve, inlet valve, we need to make sure that we're catching the ports correctly. So we have two runners down here, and if you line those up with this little dot on top, that will make sure that the inlet valve runs down the rail that it needs to in order for the port to attach onto the bottom. We can slowly take that down. We can see that we're on the rail, down into place, and just a little push from there. And if we take the white clip again and take that down, release that and push it back into place. You can see that it's snapped into place on the bottom, so there's nothing down there that's going to get in the way on there. Okay, at this point we can start now to start putting the internal bins back in. Re-add pressure regulator in there, which can now sit in there. Sits back in place nicely. We can return the guard back over, and also the selector. Push back into place. Secure them. Reattach the pilot valve to the solenoid, and then the two ports slide in there, and then we can slide the guard back down to hold in. Slide back our module and tuck in our cables. Replace the lid and secure. Now we can take the internals, find our right on stop, place and replace. Ta-da! Now we're going to pressure up the system again after replacing the sprinkler back together. The previous sprinkler that we turned on to reduce the pressure, we're going to put back to the auto position so the valve shuts. Turn to the valve that we turned off earlier and slowly bleed the water back in. Let it fill up.